I'm here with a fantastic client of mine. You really need to hear from her perspective the level of anxiety that she had and how it really had stifled her life undeservingly, innocently, and how she is chipping it away, breaking free from it. And I want you to hear it from her perspective. So tell me, how did you find out about me?
I was going to a gentleman that was doing somatic healing, and we kept hitting the same points over and over again where I would get anxious in our sessions, and he recommended coming to see you to work through that.
Can you tell a little bit of the symptoms of the anxiety you used to have?
It would be like a wave of panic rushes over the back of your head, and feel like you're standing over a railing of a tall building, and just very, very cruel, intrusive thoughts targeted at my self esteem. And it was like I was always fighting that while I was doing anything else. So that took a tremendous amount of energy while I was doing anything from grocery shopping to playing with the kids, or it was just always something that I was fighting in the back.
How long were you suffering from that?
Problem my panic attacks started when I was about 10 years old, and then the generalized anxiety that just never went away or dulled down started about in my 20s.
And since you and I work together, what's changed from your experience?
It starts with just subtle differences, but I think the main thing that's changed is that when I'm presented with something that would have caused a panic attack and it would have caused me to just shut down my reasonable thinking, now can see the situation much more clearly, and I'm able to make clear-headed choices that actually suit me instead of fear-based choices.
And would you say that almost all the symptoms have significantly reduced or gone?
I would say that I haven't had any intrusive thoughts since after the second session was over. I haven't had any. I Negative thoughts will come, but they don't take over my thought patterns. So I can still just have that thought and it move through me instead of it growing roots and then like just building on that negativity. Now it'll come in and I'll be like, well, then we just won't do that right now. And leaves just as quickly.
Now, did you ever go for traditional talk therapy before working with me?
Yes, I was in therapy all through my adolescence, that my mom had sent me to, and I did a lot of talk therapy in my 20s, and I started therapy again in my late 30s.
What's the difference here? What I do and your experience with traditional therapy, talk therapy?
What we do here, there's a solution to the issues that I'm having. We go back and we look at things that cause anxiety, and we rewire the way that my brain looks at those things so that they don't define my life, but they're just an event that happened. And it's been really helpful in my personal self-esteem.
I love it. I love the way you say how you defined your life. Now you get to define your life. That's huge. Now, any point did you feel that you had no control? Oh,
No, I actually, after the first session, I was a little concerned that we weren't doing anything because I didn't feel like you had hypnotized me. Even though you had prepared me for that feeling, I was a little worried that it was all going to be in my head. And then when we came back in and for the second session and you asked me about changes, it's just that you start to see things so differently. You're not stuck in a mindset. Everything that happens is a new thing that's happening, and you're not putting your past onto it. So I don't know. It's a hard thing to explain.
yes, yes, yes. And so, what it is, guys, for my listeners here, because I have a long list of her very specific symptoms, and I would go over each one of those symptoms, and for the most part, they were all gone, and a few were just reduced. They didn't totally go, but it reduced. And it's like slipping back to being normal. it's not like she's going to be jumping. She was jumping up and down, on a table or with joy or anything. It is subtle. Changes, big changes happen from the inside out, start small. And the subconscious starts to, it'll take its own time and it works. It just spreads throughout her life. Would you what would you say to somebody who has anxiety, who's been to talk therapy, which helps? I'm a big fan of talk therapy, right? And is on medication and really wants to move forward, but is kind of apprehensive about working with me using the really advanced protocols of hypnosis.
Oh, I would say I completely understand those fears because I had them myself, but I do not regret this at all. It's the beauty of what happens here is that I don't feel like this is something that you did for me and that I need you to continue. It feels like a thing we did together, and you've given me the tools to go out into life and do these things for myself. And I thought I didn't know how that would work when I was first looking into this. Like, would your hypnosis like wear off? But it's not like that at all. It's
No.
just it's very collaborative and empowering. And so I'm very grateful.
I'm so grateful for you coming in my life. In the process, when I work with my client and with others too, I benefit from it. Just it helps me help other people. It enriches my life. It humbles me tremendously. If you sat here and where I am meeting my client here, you would love her. I mean, she is freaking awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.